Anthony, with that millions of people who shouldn't have voted tweet, it seems as if he's backing up with what some Democrats and Jill Stein and her fundraising are alleging. But explain that.
Well, listen, he could have phrased it that he thinks that there's fraud on the Democratic side. He obviously thinks he could have won the popular vote had he campaigned differently. And so he ran the campaign based on what the rules of the game are, which is he's got to win in the Electoral College. So the nonsense about the popular vote hopefully will also die down. But listen, this recount thing is obviously financially motivated. There's nothing to it. I was at a brunch yesterday, and people were coming over to me saying, do you think that there's going to be a toss of the election? And the answer is no.
Right. I mean, look, they're only recounting in one of the 3 states that they say were questionable. That isn't enough to overturn this election. So off the bat, this is ridiculous because it's not going to impact the election materially, even if you were able to flip one of the states. And we're going to pass deadlines here where there isn't going to be an option for a recount. And so this is purely a money grab by Jill Stein's people. This is Jill Stein's last attempt to be relevant. And I think, based on what I've heard in the Democratic Party, that this is an attempt by John Podesta and Donna Brazile to leverage Jill Stein to plant seeds of doubt about the election of Donald Trump. And so I know that they don't believe that they can overturn the election, but I do think that they think that this can materially impact the way that he governs.
Well, the Clinton campaign itself, it has seen, despite looking at the voting results the last almost 3 weeks, it has seen no actionable evidence of vote hacking that might taint the results or otherwise. The White House came out more than once and said that in terms of Russian interference in the election, that it's concluded that the election was free of interference. So Jill Stein's raised millions more than she initially said, and then says, I can't guarantee it's going to be used on these recounts.
Right, and Jill Stein was a factor in the election anyway, and you know, Harlan and the individuals in these 3 states where she got actually a significant amount of votes. You know, the only person to blame for Hillary Clinton getting over 6 million less votes than Barack Obama is Hillary Clinton, her campaign. And I think it's time to move on.
Let me quote from the Wall Street Journal editorial page today. The silver lining may be to teach a lesson in electoral federalism. It's all but impossible for hackers to rig U.S. elections because they're run locally and voting machines aren't connected to a national internet network. Progressives, not conservatives, want to nationalize election laws. So go ahead, do the recounts, and then accept that Mr. Trump won fair and square.
That's it. And so, again, I mean, I'd be interested to get her on the air and see what she would say about this. She can't say that we're recounting, I'm down by 1.37 million votes, and we're recounting because I'm contesting the election. I think I deserve the American presidency or to win that state. So what is she doing it for?
And I think it's also important to say that even though the Hillary Clinton campaign is saying that they don't see evidence of this, we know that John Podesta has had conversations with the political scientists and the computer science scientists that were behind this effort on Jill Stein's part. So there is some coordination between the campaign and this effort to recount. They just don't want to be seen publicly as asking for it.
It doesn't hurt Trump in the transition, do you think?
Well, listen, I don't think it hurts. No, I'm not worried at all about that. I think the only thing that it hurts is it just further intensifies the hypocrisy of the political establishment for the American people. They're just rolling their eyes saying, don't we have better things to do with taxpayer money than to force all these states to go through this process?
It, in fact, is a spotlight on why Donald Trump won in the first place.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, you're just literally scratching your head and saying enough of this nonsense from government.
Amen. That'll be the